Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moments. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star 2 episode number 204 based on novel. So let's start. The Blood Lord, the Crane Lord, and the Shadow Lord also understood that even if they allowed Luo Feng to refine the Blood Crane territory origin, the chances of success were still very low. Yet the Blood Lord, Crane Lord, and Shadow Lord did not dare to gamble. They were unwilling to even give Luo Feng the chance to attempt the refinement. In the past, there were some ancestors who came to our Blood Crane territory, but they couldn't perceive the Blood Crane territory origin at all. This cultivator Lord Luo Feng can sense it clearly. The Tao he has mastered is quite compatible with the Blood Crane territory origin. He should only be skilled in the direction of life, and is not proficient in the power of Immortal and Shadow. His chances of refining it are very low. No matter how low the chances are, we cannot let him get close. At this moment, the three lords of the Blood Crane territory cooperated, and under the leadership of the Shadow Lord, rapidly crossed the vast distance. Traveling alone and traveling with comrades makes a significant difference in speed. But it only took a few moments for the three lords of the Blood Crane territory to reach close to Luo Feng. Luo Feng, who was traveling at full speed, could sense the arrival of three terrifying presences ahead. All coming together? Luo Feng curiously looked ahead, where three terrifying figures were forming, none other than the true bodies of the Blood Crane territory's three lords. They were similar in size, but fundamentally different in essence. The Blood Lord had a lean, elongated body with a pair of scale armor wings, and its entire body was covered in a layer of exquisite blood-colored scales, each resembling a blood-colored crystal jade, beautiful beyond compare. The Crane Lord was a massive bird with silver-gold feathers, each feather like a weapon, indestructible. The Shadow Lord was a huge distorted shadow, with blood-red eyes staring at Luo Feng. Lord Luo Feng. The Blood Lord spoke. The Shadow's invasion of your cultivator territory was indeed his mistake. However, at the time, you were being attacked by the innate primordial camp, and the outside world believed you would fall, that your territory would be completely overrun. Therefore, it was natural for various factions to seize some worlds during the war. After the war ended and you drove him out, it was also justified. Our Blood Crane territory can promise not to invade the cultivator territory anymore. Can Lord Luo Feng let this go? Just a promise and you want me to let it go? Luo Feng looked at the three of them. What do you want? The Crane Lord looked at Luo Feng, somewhat annoyed. The resources you obtained in the cultivator territory, triple compensation to me, Luo Feng said. I can let it go. The Blood Lord, Crane Lord, and Shadow Lord hesitated. You must promise that after receiving the compensation resources, you will never set foot in the Blood Crane territory. The Blood Lord spoke. If you agree, we are willing to give you this compensation resource. The Blood Lord knew very well that he had mastered the highest level of life power, but Luo Feng had mastered the Tao in this area. In terms of refining the Blood Crane territory origin, Luo Feng's chances were likely higher than his. Such an opponent must be expelled, and he cannot be allowed to return to Blood Crane territory. Triple compensation is for not considering your invasion of cultivator territory. As for the Blood Crane territory, I'll come if I want. Luo Feng also realized that the previously arrogant Blood Crane territory's three lords were willing to pay triple compensation to make him leave, indicating that if he continued to advance, he might cause substantial losses to the three lords of the Blood Crane territory. These losses could far exceed 3 times the resources. Lord Luo Feng, Blood Crane territory does not welcome you, leave quickly. Crane Lord could no longer suppress his temper and shouted angrily. Give you 3 times the resources and you still won't leave. Do you really think we can't deal with you? The Blood Lord spoke coldly. Luo Feng grinned. Feel free to try. See if you can stop me. Take action. The Crane Lord emitted a piercing sound, already carrying endless blood wave to strike. The Blood Lord and Shadow Lord also struck simultaneously. Boom tilde tilde tilde. This time, the three lords of the Blood Crane territory simultaneously mobilized Blood Sea power, each had their specialties. Working together, the entire Blood Sea seemed to come alive completely. Endless surging blood wave rolled mightily, frightening in its power. The three lords of the Blood Crane territory join forces. The strength of mobilized Blood Sea power is indeed much stronger. Luo Feng was fearless. He had experienced the war between the two camps, so what was this scene? Boom! Luo Feng instantly drew his saber, and upon doing so, felt countless shadows binding him, and binding his sky-splitting saber. HMP8, Luo Feng's power burst forth, forcibly breaking through the constraints. A saber strike landed on the Crane Lord's body who had arrived near him. The Crane Lord had no resistance whatsoever, allowing Luo Feng's saber to slash at his neck. The feathers on his neck shimmered silver and gold. Luo Feng's formidable power at close range, under the numerous feathers actively dissipating force, only caused surface cracks in a few feathers, but they quickly healed completely. Rip, allowing Luo Feng to slash him, the Crane Lord's sharp claws grabbed at Luo Feng's chest, but when approaching, they were blocked by the protective energy layer, causing minor ripples in the protective energy layer. Both sides exchanged ferocious blows at close range yet sustained little damage. Whoosh! Luo Feng saw the Crane Lord in front of him suddenly emitting an extremely piercing sound, and simultaneously, its beak transformed into a golden afterimage, pecking fiercely. The protective energy layer on Luo Feng's body was pierced where it was pecked. Luo Feng's chest was also pecked, creating a bloody hole, but it healed instantly. Wow! The Crane Lord's body surface erupted with countless silver-white glows, each feather transforming into light, attacking Luo Feng at ultra-close range, but these feathers, though seemingly numerous, each did not have the power of that one peck, unable to penetrate the protective energy layer. Crane Lord, your undying body does have some capabilities in combat. Luo Feng praised. However, Crane Lord was quite unwilling, and only barely managed to wound Luo Feng with a full-force strike, creating a blood hole on Luo Feng's surface. But he knew very well that for a lord like Luo Feng, with terrifying recovery capabilities, what is a blood hole? The entire body could undergo complete catastrophic explosion, yet still manage to condense into a complete form in the end. This blood hole is truly just like a scratch. These lords who have mastered the Tao are terrifyingly strong in their specialties. Luo Feng's protective means are stronger than ours. Blood Lord transmitted mentally, we should follow the original plan and completely intercept him. All right. Crane Lord had no other options either. Actually, the three lords of Blood Crane territory excelled in the highest level powers of life, immortality, and shadows, all of which were directed towards self-preservation. This led to their remarkable resilience in terms of life force but resulted in a lack of prowess in killing enemies. Their proficiency in self-preservation brought one advantage. Historically, many ancestor-level entities that emerged from infinite primordial space had fallen. Yet Blood Crane territory only birthed them three as ancestors, and the three were still alive and well. Due to their extreme survival capabilities, especially Shadow Lord's ability to come and go without a trace, they often went against weaker forces, and those weaker powers had no means against Blood Crane territory. This time, however, they provoked the cultivator camp. Boom tilde 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 tilde. The surrounding Blood Sea surged and completely shattered Luo Feng's realm of life and death, entirely enveloping him. Luo Feng resisted the Blood Sea using his protective energy layer. Crane Lord and Blood Lord both came closely to entangle in the attack, one with an undying body, the other integrated with the Blood Sea. Moreover, the power of Shadow constrained Luo Feng at every point. Not just his limbs were affected, Luo Feng's entire body was influenced by the power of shadows. Really uncomfortable. Despite Luo Feng's strong physical body and the vast 10,008,000,000 units of origin energy, he was still troubled, tangled by the three lords from Blood Crane territory, and unable to fly and proceed. Get out of my way! Luo Feng's entire body erupted in blade light, but Crane Lord's massive body, giant wings eagerly embraced Luo Feng, entangling him, permitting the blade light to strike upon him. Even with slight injuries, Crane Lord instantly recovered himself. Given Crane Lord's undying body, the only thing he fears is another of Luo Feng's catastrophic explosion. Now, with Blood Lord's cooperation, even if severely damaged, he's confident he would survive. Amidst the endless Blood Sea, several avatars of world-level primordial quietly observed. This cultivator lord is truly terrifying. Even with Blood Lord, Crane Lord, and Shadow Lord joining forces, and aided by the infinite blood sea, they can only restrain him, unable to wound him. It's said that one cultivator lord can deal with several ancestors, and indeed it seems true. The cultivator camp is indeed powerful. These world-level primordials quietly observed, stunned by Lord Luo Feng's prowess. Fighting 1 against 3 in the heart of Blood Crane territory without any signs of weakness? Although the mysterious land of Blood Crane territory concealed the battle, shrouding various auras, several beings in the vast infinite primordial space still sensed the outbreak of this battle. A peculiar world entirely hidden, rendering any other life form in the infinite primordial space incapable of discovering it. Yet it can watch every part of the infinite primordial space. A gigantic eye appeared on the membrane wall of this world, curiously watching the battle at Blood Crane territory. This Lord Luo Feng, if he were outside, facing 3 foes without fear, then these 3 wouldn't be able to stop his steps. But within Blood Crane territory, aided by the power of the endless Blood Sea, Blood Lord, Crane Lord, and Shadow Lord gained at least 50% extra strength, and Lord Luo Feng is restrained, unable to advance further. In the cultivator camp, Starlight Lord uses the power-breaking technique, and so does this Lord Luo Feng. In the future, Lord Luo Feng might be even more frightening than Starlight Lord. It pays close attention to Luo Feng. From its experience, it could perceive that Luo Feng's moves contained the meaning of life and death. If this direction is pursued to the extreme, it indeed would be one of the most terrifying kinds in the infinite primordial space. Lord Luo Feng practicing power-breaking technique clearly possesses the potential to reach the extreme. Luo Feng went to Blood Crane territory. Numerous avatars of Starlight Lord observed the past, present, and future, witnessing the battle between Luo Feng and the 3 lords of Blood Crane territory. Luo Feng's primordial life and death Tao has deep research on life, with a sliver of hope to refine Blood Crane territory origin. Hence all 3 Blood Crane territory lords are fully obstructing. Starlight Lord smiled. Even as he watched the battle, he had no intention of lending aid. Among the 8 lords of the cultivator camp, they only collectively acted in face of significant threats to the camp. In usual adventures or vendetta skirmishes, they generally acted alone. Only when encountering significant trouble would they invite companions. If not invited, the lords would not interfere in companions' affairs. Within Blood Crane territory, the endless blood sea surged furiously, and Blood Lord, Crane Lord, and Shadow Lord fully obstructed Luo Feng. Other methods indeed can't break their obstruction. Luo Feng thought, and suddenly a multitude of brilliant stars-like origins flew out from his body surface. As many as 3,600,000,000 projects flew out. 3,600,000,000 origins formed a complete formation. These origins suddenly throbbed like hearts, then fully burst forth, causing a chain reaction of explosive power directed towards Blood Lord and Crane Lord. When the physical body is destroyed and 1,080,000,000 origin points completely explode, even with formation guidance, Luo Feng finds it difficult to perfectly control the direction. However, with only 30% of the energy reserve, most of the energy's impact direction can still be controlled. Not good. Crane Lord and Blood Lord were shocked. It seemed slow to say, but in fact, 360 million origin points flew out and caused origin great destruction explosion. Although this was only 30% of the energy reserve for the whole body, it still could match all of Wulan's energy reserves. This explosive power was still very terrifying. A moment later, numerous feathers on Crane Lord's body began to shatter, and his entire body was blown back, but during the retreat, the injured body was quickly restored with the assistance of Blood Lord. Blood Lord completely merged into the endless blood sea, bearing much of the damage with the blood sea. The power isn't that great. Crane Lord sighed in relief after taking that blow. Having an undying body, what he feared most was Luo Feng's origin great destruction. But this strike was clearly much weaker than expected. The great destruction of 360 million origin points is a lot weaker. Luo Feng also realized this point. At the Lord level, it's very difficult to enhance the power of a killer move. Like Luo Feng's 30% energy reserve, Great Destruction, the Giant God Emperor, Primordial Beast Ancestor, and Black Tide Ancestor can directly suppress it. To achieve a 60% energy reserve, great destruction is needed to break their suppression and begin to injure them. 60% energy reserve explosion is the limit value of their suppression. Breaking through this limit, they have to resist, and the injuries will escalate rapidly. With a 10% energy reserve explosion, even the three would not dare block it, exerting all efforts to dissipate the power. Even so, each of the three giant god emperors is severely injured, further affecting many surrounding ancestors. The 10% explosion has Crane Lord with the undying body a bit frightened. 30%? Crane Lord feels it's still manageable. Boom! However, after defeating the obstructions of Crane Lord and Blood Lord, Luo Feng swiftly flew forward. Not good, stop him. Blood Lord and Crane Lord's expressions changed slightly, and Shadow Lord quickly carried them, intercepting Luo Feng in front again to entangle and restrain him. Whoosh! Crane Lord and Blood Lord just approached to block and restrain for 1 or 2 breaths, suddenly seeing dazzling dense origins flying out again. A total of 360 million origins fly out again. The terrifying explosion appears again. Power overwhelmingly rushes towards them. Under the terrifying explosive power, Blood Lord could only merge into the blood sea from the blast, and Crane Lord was blown back even further. Luo Feng continued to fly. How is that possible? Can this move be used repeatedly? Blood Lord, Crane Lord, Shadow Lord couldn't believe it. But when they attempt to block again, they again witness that dazzling 360 million origins flying out to explode, chilling their hearts. The 30% energy reserve explosion has 10% energy reserve that can be recovered. Actually, each time I only expend 2% energy reserve. In just 2 or 3 breaths, it can be restored. Including battle and travel time, in 2 or 3 breaths, a weakened version of Origin Great Destruction can be used. This power is enough to repel Blood Lord and others, allowing him to keep advancing. What to do? Blood Lord, Crane Lord, Shadow Lord were momentarily at a loss, silently communicating with each other but lacking any solution. With Luo Feng's 30% energy reserve destruction explosion, Crane Lord, who held undying power, could withstand it, doesn't mean the explosive power wasn't strong. This terrifying power is enough to repel all formidable enemies, blasting them far away. Can't stop it. We can't stop it. Blood Lord, Crane Lord, Shadow Lord hopelessly realized that every time they tried to block, they would ultimately face the explosion impact of 360 million origins, being blown back far away. Boom! 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 Wave after wave of terrifying explosive impact, Luo Feng continued advancing. After being blasted 39 times, Blood Lord, Crane Lord, and Shadow Lord stopped, no longer intercepting. They gave up, resigned. Because not far ahead was already the origin of Blood Crane territory. Arrived. Luo Feng also sensed it, the core source of Blood Crane territory was just ahead. This video will end here.